Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk you about the constructive analysis hypothesis. My name is Víctor Ortega and let's for it. Well, the first thing that we are going to mention is who was the person who gave the idea. This person was Robert Lado. He was the first linguistic who talked about constructive analysis hypothesis. He born in May 31 in 1915 in Florida, United States. Well, and what is the constructive analysis hypothesis? It's the systematic study of a pair of languages with a view to identify the structural difference and similarities in order to learn a target language easier. An example could be Spanish and French. They both are languages that come from the same tree, or in other words, Romances languages. These languages have a similar pronunciation and grammatic style. There are some words that are practically in the same way, but there are two words that we use and they do not. This method can be used for professors at the teaching moment of a target language. So, for some linguistics, the constructive analysis hypothesis could be considered an academic and a learning style too. Now we are going to see when it began. The constructive analysis was used extensively in the field of second language acquisition in the 1960s and early 1970s as a method of explaining why some features of a target language were more difficult to acquire than others. But in 1971 and nowadays this method was decreasing. So, how can we use it? Well, if you are going to learn, for example, French, you can identify similarities with your mother tongue, that in our case is Spanish, but not only similarities, but difference too. So, this exercise is going to help us to develop in certain measure or level in our target language. But can we actually use it? There are some things to consider at the moment of use this method. There are some good points in the constructive analysis hypothesis. For example, we can feel comfortable while we are learning the target language because we keep present our mother tongue. But there are too some bad points to consider. For example, this method can create confusion and some mistakes in the learning of a target language that are hard to repair. On my personal experience, when I was a child, I was unconsciously using this method. I was learning English thinking in Spanish. This obviously made confused mainly in adjective position because of Spanish interference. But when I left this way of learning behind, I began to progress on my learning process. I began to acquire some knowledge. And that was because I realized that English is a different language and that it has different grammatic and pronunciation styles. In my opinion, this method is not the best one for learning a new language, but we use it in some measure, keeping in mind that is not the principal one. Other near people think in the same way. They say that it is not the best option at learning a target language moment. Nowadays, this method is not very famous. People began to use other ways to learn a new language. In spite of this, the method keeping developed ideas or developing itself. Some linguistics keep updating the obsolete information. So my friends, this is all. Thank you so much.